Hello there, and welcome back. So, one of the questions that I always get asked is, Jess, how on earth are you managing to get so much done? You've got a baby, you've got the business, you do strategy with people, so you have a lot of calls that you need to be on, mastermind calls, like all that good stuff. How on earth do you manage to to keep it all ticking over, make sure that everything gets done? And I'll tell you, it is seriously not easy. So, um, I think it's a combination of two things. One of them is Trello, um, and the other one is my calendar. So, in this video today, I want to show you how I organize my calendar. To give you a bit of background, I have a little boy who, at the time of this video, is 13 months, and I have between 10 and 15 clients at any one time. I have a couple of team members that kind of all have stuff that needs sorting out. And yeah, there's always a lot going on. I've got people that I do one-to-one sessions with. Then I've got obviously the usual discovery calls to fit in. And then I also have the 2 hour one-off strategy sessions that also have to be popped in my calendar. So if I didn't organize my time and kind of try and time block things together, I would get absolutely nothing done because I would be completely run by to-dos and deadlines. And I don't think I would ever work on my business. And that is one of the mistakes that I made when I was first starting out 2 years ago, that I didn't really treat my time with enough respect and enough care. So I would go from this to do to that to do to this to do to that to do, and there'd be no planning done for the business. I wouldn't be, making new connections with people. It was all over the place. I used to allow people to book calls any time of day. So I could go through a Tuesday with a call at 9, a call at 10:30, a call at 11:45, a call at 2, and a call at 4. And in between that, I would get absolutely nothing done because I actually prepare for those calls. I look up the person that I'm talking to so that I understand what their business offer is. And there's always something going on that I have to, that I have to look up. And when I work, I need to focus on my work that I have to do for a set period of time. So I can't really go from A to B to C and not knowing what is going on and then being interrupted by calls at random intervals. Then my calendar pops up and goes, oh, you've got a call with this in 15 minutes, but I'm still mid-client project. So that really didn't work for me. So I implemented the system that I want to show you today. I need to tell you, from a personality perspective, I'm the big picture person and I hate micromanaging. So me having to micromanage myself with my calendar is hard work for me. It does not come easy. And if you feel the same way, don't worry. You will slip up. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just get back on track. I tend to get very focused on stuff and then I can work for hours without moving, going to the loo, whatever. I can just sit here and just beaver away at what I need to do. So I hate being interrupted. I don't like appointments. I like to be in control of my time. So I kind of implemented this system of stacking things on my calendar, and that's what you're going to see right now. So every week has this basic layout that then gets filled up with additional things. So as I'm a mum, my work time is limited to when I have childcare, and I try not to. I have the option to leave my child in nursery from 7:30 to 6 on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I do not want my 1-year-old in nursery from 7:30 till 6. So realistically, I have put these times in because I need to see how much time I have available. However, that doesn't mean that actually I'm working until, 10 to 6 or something like that. This is actually not even realistic. I actually need to turn this down to like 5:45 because if I did want to leave him there till 6, I'd have to be out the front door at 5:45. Then the next thing that I do is I think about, when do I need to have calls with people? I prefer to not have strategy sessions in the afternoons, but realistically, that is not possible in my business because a lot of my clients are US based. And if they're on mountain time or further west, the calls have to be quite late in the afternoon. So I often have a strategy session from like 3 to 5. I know, right? Heavy thinking, 3 to 5 on a Friday afternoon. But if that is the case and that gets booked, what I do is I make sure that I take some time off in the mornings, or I plan in a nap at lunchtime just so that I'm really fresh when I get on the call with that person. So I kind of have these 2 slots open for discovery calls, strategy sessions, coaching sessions, anything that needs doing in the mornings. So they would be anyone European time, or a lot of people in Australia and New Zealand tend to book the early morning 9 o'clock slot with me. And then I have the 2 afternoon slots to kind of cover US time zones. Pacific time can still be difficult. And I have one client who I meet with regularly Thursday nights, just because he doesn't start work till later in the day. So there is no other way to meet other than doing it in the evenings. So I do try and avoid evening appointments now that I have childcare every day of the week, but sometimes it's not possible and I just have to adapt to that. So I try and take some time off in the day on Thursdays so that I don't feel so exhausted. So you'll see some empty bits there. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays, I only have childcare from 9 to 4 because our nanny still comes to our house and she does a slightly shorter day. And I want to spend the rest of the afternoon with babies, so I don't ever book anything in these afternoons. These slots, they're just here as placeholders. I have a Google Calendar. That Google Calendar is connected to Acuity. And the only thing these slots do is tell me that that is the possibility, or there is a possibility somebody may book an appointment at any one of these times. And sometimes, like, somebody could book an appointment right now for Monday morning, 10 o'clock, or somebody could book an appointment on Wednesday for Thursday at 2 p.m. So these slots always stay open. I never book them up with anything unless I have to be somewhere. So I've got a meetup from the Female Entrepreneur Association on Monday. So, I have that kind of slightly overlaps. So this is an actual appointment. But these are really just placeholders so that I know when not to try and book something, so I can keep that slot clear for people that want to get on calls with me. Then the pink stuff that you see, these are actual appointments that are in my business calendar. These are times that will show as busy on my calendar. It doesn't actually matter because Acuity only has these slots open anyways. So whatever appointments I put in the other times, that is just helpful for the team to know. So for example, next Wednesday, there's going to be a meetup in Sheffield. So I have to be over there. So if somebody was to message me during that time and I don't reply straight away, it could be that I'm actually in the car driving. So so these time slots actually just mean that something is booked. They don't impact on my calendar, on my booking system whatsoever, but they help me. So every week has this basic layout, and then I add additional things on top of these blocks that I've kind of blocked out. So there has to be some flexibility because stuff comes up. Sometimes I have to do certain things at certain times of the day, and there's not much I can do to get around that. So what happens is I have Monday afternoons blocked out for client work. I tried the CEO day where I have a whole day where I don't do clients, but that doesn't work in my business at all because something will break and it'll be by default on that day, and then somebody else has an emergency with something. So I've given up on having CEO day. I just do CEO time instead. And I try and make it as long of a block as possible, but sometimes I have to shift things around. So Monday afternoons, I've got client work on the menu, and usually over lunchtime, I will probably do the same thing. Then Tuesday afternoons, I have a whole block for client work. Wednesday mornings, I like to spend on anything that I have to work on in my business. And then client work in the afternoon. And then again, client work Thursday and Friday morning. And then the afternoons are a little bit more flexible as to what I do with that time. Then what I do at the beginning of the week, or sometimes Sunday night or Monday morning, it depends. When our clients send all of the work for the week through to us, what I do is I go and I block actual things on my calendar. So for example, there's a launch happening right now. So there's things that need to be done for this launch, and they have to happen Monday and Wednesday morning. It's crucial that it happens at that time. So I have that time blocked as an appointment on my calendar already, and nobody's going to distract me and get me off task during those times. Then I can also estimate how much work I have to do for each client during the week. So for example, if client A sends me a new landing page that has to be designed and built, I might create an event that literally just says client A. And then I can drag this, for example, onto Monday afternoon. So I'll say Monday afternoon, I'll tackle this big thing for client A, and then I have like nearly an hour to go to fill in any other ad hoc work that's come up. And I do the same with CEO time. So if I need to update my sales page for something, I can write that on my calendar, and then I can slot it into CEO time. So I literally stack these appointments on top of each other. So the brown ones are like my basic time slots that I have available and the time slots that my calendar is open. The pink ones are actual appointments. Some of these will be populated by the booking system, and some of these I have blocked out for certain things or meetups and appointments. And sometimes I have to go take the baby to the doctor, so I have to adjust this slightly. But it at least gives me some focus. So when I sit down to work on Friday mornings at 9 o'clock, the first thing I check is how much client work have I got. Today, I haven't got that much going on, so I won't need 4 hours for client work. So I thought that's a good time to do another video for you guys. So that can always be adjusted. And what I do when I have no bookings is these times automatically turn into CEO time. So if I get up Tuesday morning and my calendar is still empty from 9 to 11:30, then I do not fill this with client work because I have the whole afternoon for that. I fill this with more CEO time. And that helps me to still get a moderate amount of works done. I try not to work in the evenings anymore, unless I really want to do something. So if I'm really excited about something that I want to play with, or a new tool has come out or something like that, then I'll have a look at that for our clients like in the evenings. Or if I'm doing training and personal development, I often do that in the evenings. It helps me to relax. I love learning, so that's my way of studying, reading, learning is my way of kind of switching off, which I know for some people it really isn't, but for me that works quite well. Otherwise, if I have a training course that I'm going through, I would do some of the work in CEO time. And as far as marketing goes, 90% of my marketing is connecting with people personally. So I tend to be on Facebook and Instagram, just interacting with people. And I do that whenever I have some downtime. So sometimes I do that at 10 o'clock in bed. I love meeting people. I love talking to them. I have like some of the funniest conversations with people in Messenger. And sometimes that leads to them booking a call with me. Sometimes I just have a new connection that, I may work with in future or I may not. I totally keep it open. I'm the type of person that I think the more people you meet, the more people you connect with and build relationships with, the better. So I don't have any particular marketing time set aside because it takes like 5 minutes at a time to interact with people on Instagram. I don't really need to set aside a whole hour to be on Facebook. I just end up getting distracted, and then an hour turns into 2 hours. So I just try and keep it to like 10-minute bursts. And you will see that I have no time set aside exactly for admin stuff. And that's because I have a business manager that handles a lot of the invoicing and that kind of stuff. So I can focus my CEO time on developing myself, developing my team, meeting with people, training, doing videos like this, putting out products. I can really focus on the kind of stuff that's going to grow the business and not admin. So you don't see any admin time on my calendar, but you might need some on yours, like maybe a couple of times a week, like a 2-hour block or something, to catch up on invoices, quotes, emails, and all that good stuff. And I don't have to do our own emails. So I also don't have time blocked for emails. If you do your own emails still, I strongly recommend that you do emails at 9 and you do emails at 1, or you'd get your biggest, most focused task out the way from 9 to 11 and then check emails at 11 and check emails again at 4. I find emails extremely distracting. I try not to use them. They just pile up and there's just usually a load of trash. So I am really not an email person. I prefer to have conversations with people rather than sending long bits back and forth. So yeah, if I didn't have our business manager, I would have to block out time for emails. It would never be first thing in the morning for me, because if I get any kind of bad news via email, I would rather see them after I've done my focused work for the day rather than beforehand, because then I'm thinking about that. And also, sometimes our clients email with emergencies. And if I get an emergency email from a client at like 9 o'clock on my CEO time day, I just get super distracted. So I actually have an hour blocked out before CEO time to deal with any emergencies. So that once I've done that bit, I can then focus on my business until it's afternoon time. So it's hard work. It doesn't come easy to me, but having allocated time slots where I only have to focus on one thing, and that's either clients or business or calls or nothing. Like, if I don't fancy doing anything on Thursday afternoons because I've had a bad night with baby and I'm super tired, I'll knock out the client work. And if there's no appointments, I will just hang out and read a book. Because we don't give ourselves enough time to like restore our energies in the way that we like. I love learning. I love going out and meeting actual people. So I'm planning to do a lot more of that during the week now that I have more childcare. So I need time to actually fit all of that in. So yeah, so that's my system. If you have a system and you've talked about it at any point, feel free to share it with me or share it in the comments. I love to see how other people work. I know that this is all really personal to us, so it can be really difficult to find something that works for you. You know, everyone else is raving about it and you just don't get it. It just really doesn't work for you, and that's okay. I was like that with Trello for the longest time. I was like, Trello is not working for me, and that's because I figured out that I didn't have the right system. And now that I have the right system, I'm like, hell yeah, I love Trello. So it's super funny how quickly things can change when you really suddenly get it. Yeah, so I would love to see. If you like to see this kind of stuff, and if you like to optimize your business, really grow and scale, I would love to invite you to come and join my Facebook group. It's a lovely bunch of us, currently a few hundred members. We have dedicated training sessions on Mondays, Wednesdays, or Fridays. If there's one on a Monday, we talk about mindset. If there's one on a Wednesday, we talk about strategy. And then if there's one on a Friday, we talk about all things tech. And then I also have a weekly show that's called Crush It with Confidence, and it's over on my Facebook page. I currently do that one on Fridays. So I'm going to drop the links underneath this video. So if you want to come and join us in the group and, share, learn, and grow together, then you're more than welcome to. If you want to come and check out my show, you can do that too. And if you have anything that's driving you around the bend in your business and you figure, hey, I'd really like to know how you handle that particular part in the business, then leave a comment under this video. Tell me what's going on for you, and I'll see if I can do you a video to share how I kind of tackle that part. All right, I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you again soon.